Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Foxx Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, here are your hosts, Kellen, Garrett, Gannon, and coming to you from the Foxx Den, their dad, Todd Foxx.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. We got a special episode tonight because look who's back. Kellen, the dog, Foxx is back with us, me and Garrett as well tonight. Gannon is just moved back into school, and he is pretty busy, so he's got a lot going on. But Kellen, you've been out for a while. A lot has happened since you were here. I know you got a coach, Brent Venables. I'm just kidding. But what's been going on with you, Kellen? What all has been happening for this hot summer? Is it hot in Atlanta? I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, it's pretty toasty. Well, I was working a second job for quite some time. Only helped on a few podcasts here and there because they kept putting me on Monday nights. But just ended that. Bought a new car, got a new apartment, got a promotion at my other job. Just been living
That's pretty good. That makes sense, though, because you're in a different room. I was trying to figure out where you were at, and I forgot you moved. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I haven't even finished setting it up yet. So
very nice. When's Stranger Things coming out?
Probably 2026 at this point.
26?
Maybe late 2025. They're halfway done filming right now, and then they got to edit every single episode. There's going to be like 8 episodes, and they said they're all going to be as long as movies. So,
holy cow!
Wow.
They said it's basically 8 movies.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I can't wait. I'm excited for that. All right, folks, let's jump right into it. Got some. Garrett, what do you got? Do you have the? Do you want to do the comments now? You got all that for us?
Sure can. So
tell all listeners and viewers what's happening right now.
Well, first of all, we're trying to get engaged with the audience a little bit, kind of build a relationship. Maybe it's a good relationship, maybe it's not a good relationship. That's up to you guys. The comments, but if you guys have questions, we'll answer those. Or if there's kind of a comment that we feel like requires a little bit more conversation, we'll hit on that. But for instance, this past week we got one telling us to get off the internet. We know nothing about football. This has to be a parody. In reference to Mizzou being a fluke, which, Paul, I'll let you kind of go into that one a little bit because I know we've talked about them quite a bit the last couple of weeks or last month or so. But
they're not very good. I mean, they won a lot of close games last year, and you can't do that 2 years in a row. And they have no relevance. I mean, you can have a good year every 5, 6, 7, 8 years, in which they had last year. So, hey, congrats, Mizzou. But guess what? Let's be honest. Ask the other SEC folks, the Alabamas, the Georgias, LSUs, Tennessees. Mizzou is in a sense, I don't want to say laughing stock, but they're just not that great. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bust your chops, but it's cold, hard reality. Oklahoma comes in here to the SEC, and we're going to smoke Mizzou. Is what it is.
I will say I lived in Missouri from the age of 12 to 25, and I'd never met a single Mizzou fan in that time.
Exactly. So. I said the exact same thing as all Missouri State from where we were at. Like, there's no Missouri fans other than –
well, but it wasn't even like they were either Arkansas fans or fans of some random school. Like, nobody was a Mizzou fan.
And then also, like we said, probably from the age of like 12 to 18, nobody was a Kansas City fan. But,
now they're all Chiefs and Warriors fans.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, I did see some whenever I worked at that evil place, the Evil Empire. They did have a few Chiefs fans. For some of those folks, I'm happy for it, but there's some of them. Anyway, what else? What other questions or comments have we received recently?
Paul, I'll let you do this one too, because it's talking about whenever you were talking about Oklahoma LSU rivalry. This guy was saying LSU FSU. I was like, I don't know why that would be a rivalry.
That's not
but
who cares about that? I mean, we went rivalry, Kellen. So my thought was, you got all these different rivalries, and OU Texas is obviously the big one, but we play them every year the same time frame. So I'm looking at like a different rivalry, and I think, in my opinion, it would be great to see Oklahoma play LSU right after Thanksgiving, whether it be the Friday or Saturday. Could be the Saturday. That's fine. Somebody, I know, I saw a comment. Somebody ripped me for a Friday. Nobody plays on Friday. Well, they do. There are some teams that do play on Friday, but I know. I think it would be fantastic. 1 year here, 1 year there, and I think it would be a great rivalry to build into. You can't. I get it's not going to just happen from day one, but you're building that. And then if we kept playing them for the next, I guarantee you within 5, 6, 7 years, it's going to be a rivalry. I think that'd be a fantastic school to have one too. Because to be honest with you, other than Texas, there's some schools that we play. Oklahoma State, we don't play them anymore, right? But you got Alabama who has Auburn, they have Tennessee, they have LSU. LSU's. I don't know if they're anybody's number one rival. I really don't. Maybe, and they might be. Arkansas. I'm just throwing. I don't know the answer. We asked some questions for that, and it seems as if they're one of the top rivals of these schools. But I'm talking like second or third tier type of rivalry, because they wouldn't be our main one. They'd be our second one, maybe even third.
I mean, I think it'd be a good rivalry after a while. LSU's always relevant, whether they're
they are
good or
they're
just
good.
okay that year, but they're always relevant. And I mean, I think it's going to be a great game this year, and I would see it becoming a huge rivalry just years to come.
For sure.
And speaking of that question, Kellen, who do you feel like Oklahoma could build like a really good rivalry with outside? Since we've lost Oklahoma State, like we definitely need that second game of the year that everyone kind of has that extra little bit of hate towards.
Well, I mean, I think the one that's realistic to replace Oklahoma State, because we're kind of beat up on them most years, is going to be Mizzou. They might get one here or there in the next 50 years, but for the most part, we're going to smack them. They're going to be all hyped every year, thinking they're going to do something. They're going to go into hiding again for 51 weeks, come back next year. So to replace them, but I think in an actual rivalry standpoint, I think LSU could actually be a really big one.
Yeah.
I could see Tennessee being decent.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to think that at some point we have to get to the top, but we're up there with Alabama and Georgia. But for now,
Sure.
I think LSU and Mizzou would be the realistic ones.
Sure. And I think Arkansas would be a fun one, but I just don't think they're going to be very relevant like the Alabamas, the Tennessees, even LSU's for consistency. Georgia, and that's.
I mean, I might be
could be wrong.
surprised, but I feel like rivals got to have annoying fans, and I just don't really know annoying fans of Arkansas. They're all pretty chill. They're just guys that like football, nothing crazy. But I mean, we've never really played them like that,
Right.
so maybe it's different once we start playing them. But I mean, I wouldn't have thought the same about Mizzou until the last 6 months. All of a sudden, Mizzou fans popping out of nowhere. So we'll see.
Well, that's the thing is like relevancy, like truthfully, and I'm not, again, Arkansas is not going to win a national championship anytime soon, and neither is Missouri. I could see LSU, Alabama, Georgia, even Oklahoma, Tennessee, maybe. I don't probably see it, but those other two are not going to win one. They're not going to win a national championship in football anyway. It's just not happening. Got to be relevant to make a good rivalry. Is that all the comments we have, or you got anything else?
Yeah, that's all we got this week. But like I said, if you got any questions or topics of just ideas, but this is kind of the last week. Like next week, we're going to be doing kind of the game preview of Temple, and then from there, it's just throughout the whole season. So
I would like to see at some point maybe throw those names out there, and let's see, hey, Charles or whoever it was. I mean, whoever Carl or whoever it might be from Wisconsin.
It was iPrime Productions 1517. So too afraid to put his real name out there, but
First off, we appreciate you commenting. Fantastic job. Just understand this: we do know football. We've been around football for many years, and we're Oklahoma Sooner fans, and we're here to win. We're not here to be scared from joining the SEC. So be ready there, Bucko. What else you got, Garrett? You got any recruiting news? What do you got going on there?
Yeah, Oklahoma has been getting a flurry of crystal balls, predictions, whatever you want to call it, for Michael. I'm probably going to butcher the last name, but like Fasusi or something like that. 5-star tackle. That would be the first 5-star offensive lineman, according to 247, since 2000. So
Wow, no kidding. Wow.
yeah, we've gotten plenty of defensive linemen through the years, and obviously skill positions, but offensive lineman is something that we're known for producing into the NFL, but these guys we get the 4 stars and all that, but like it's just we haven't had that highly recruited and offered player out of high school coming in and turning him into anything great, but yeah, no, that would be a huge pickup.
Huge. We need it.
So we're the highest ranked team essentially in the class without a 5-star commit of 2025.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well, that's fantastic news. We need that because our offensive line right now is the one area of the team that we're just kind of not really sure of, and it happens, every so often with us like that. And it takes several games. The first 3 games are kind of I don't want to say we're guaranteed to win them because we're not, but they're in a sense trying, show us what you got, and then it's on after that with Tennessee. And I know we talked about last week Jaden Gibson, and he's out for the year. So let me ask you guys this. So, I mean, of course, I feel like we're really good at receiver and deep at receiver to a sense, but it doesn't matter regardless. Like, because I've heard some people say, well, I mean, it's the receiver and we're deep there, which I agree with you. We are. However, you can't afford another one. And you got Anthony coming back from an injury who sounds like to me he's like a little bit behind schedule. So, and we need that guy. So, and also Jackson Arnold, his main guy to throw to, like his favorite target was Gibson. So that's concerning. How concerned should we be?
I think the depth aspect, it has some validity to it. I mean, he was probably in reality going to be our 4th receiver, I would expect, just because I think you'd have Farouk, you'd have Nick Anderson, you'd have Deion Burks.
Yeah,
and then I think that 4th spot was probably between Jaden, Anthony, or I don't know, maybe Petaway has a big year or something. I don't know. But it's still going to hurt. We'll still notice it, and especially because we definitely utilized him in the red zone because he's 6'6", and there's not a lot of receivers that are 6'6", plain and simple. But I think the biggest thing is, like you just mentioned, they got the fact that they had such, chemistry together that was his guy, and so he's gonna have to find a new guy, which I think can be any single one of them. I mean, we saw in the spring game he used Deion Burks over and over and over again, and then Farouk is he's always just been reliable. Like, we'll have some games where you don't really notice him a whole lot, and then we'll have a game like last year at Texas where he kind of put us on his back for a couple drives. So
100%.
And then Nick Anderson, that guy is going to be a 1st-round pick anyways.
I love him.
But then at the same time, our tight end room's a lot better than it was last year, which I think Arnold's going to definitely use a lot of his, security blankets per se, because we've mentioned he's such a deep shot kind of guy, and I think he's always going to look for that first, and so he's going to need to make a quick read for the safety valve for the running back or the tight end, and so that's when the transfer from, I'm blanking, but the Sharp guy, and then also Caden Helms, hopefully he can get healthy.
No, I agree 100%. All right. So I know, Kellen, like you've been out, and I feel like I'm bouncing around a little bit, but of this OU schedule this upcoming season, which game are you personally like looking forward to the most, other than Texas? I mean, Texas may not be your number one anyway, but other than like an OU Texas game, which one intrigues you the most, in your opinion? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, Oklahoma, Alabama is going to be great. I think if Nick Saban was still there, that would probably be number one. I still think Alabama is going to be fine and going to be great. But the legacy of Nick Saban would have been awesome to see on the sideline of the Oklahoma. LSU, I am really looking forward to. I want to somehow find a way to go to that game. But maybe Tennessee. I think it's just going to be fun. I feel like it could be a fairly even matched game. I mean, they're 15 and we're 16 right now, but got Heupel there and all that good stuff, so that could be fun. I don't know. It's hard because I'm just excited to play all these teams we don't typically play. And, I mean, you look at it, and granted, we haven't even started yet, but all these ranked teams we're going up against.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think that's going to be awesome.
Well, the biggest thing about the Tennessee game is I think Heupel coming back is going to be a big talking point. But the two, freshman or first-year starters, 5 stars previously, I mean, Nico was a number 1 in his class, and then Arnold, and they're in the same class, and then Arnold was 3 or 4, depending on which site you looked at. But, you got some very, very good quarterbacks that a lot of people have a lot of high expectations for. So that'll be exciting too, because that's going to be his first test, and we're going to need to make sure, he feels it. But at the same time, we've mentioned it before, that's going to be Arnold's first test too, because that defense and that Tennessee's no joke. Like, they have the projected, number 1 pick on some people, James Pierce Jr., the edge rusher, and so that's going to be a problem.
Sure. Yeah, I was just curious because I know there's several games. I mean, the Ole Miss game, even though it's not at home, is going to be a fantastic game as well. I mean, they're good. They're loaded. So
Auburn, like I have Auburn scares me. They scare me this year.
I really want to go to that game because I'm only about 2 hours from there, but
yeah,
I'm going to have to be strong.
Arnold said at the SEC media day, whenever he was talking to Carson Beck, Georgia's quarterback, about, I think more so just the environment of SEC, but Auburn Stadium is haunted, is what Carson Beck said, because it's just the fan and the crowd is just something else. You don't find it everywhere else.
Speaking of Jackson Arnold, I know last week we talked about how he had been struggling in practice, and I know I've heard nothing but pretty good updates this week regarding it with his play. So that's encouraging to hear for sure for the OU team. I just know, in my opinion, like the more and more we keep getting some of those Venables players in, I think this defense is going to be really good. And,
that's what I was going to say. I would hope that our quarterback struggles against the Venables defense.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Yeah,
exactly. So I think it's going to be. I think you're going to see a significant. Now, I say significant. I mean, you're going up against a lot better competition, way better competition for sure, and that's going to be a challenge in itself. But I do think this defense is going to be wired and ready to go. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how much Stone's going to play this year. I mean, I know he's going to play, but I don't think it's going to be just like,
I think
ton.
Yeah, I think Dominic Wilkins coming in from TCU definitely impacted his playing time. And then I've also seen a few things Jaden Jackson, I think, is not impressing, I should say, but more so probably going to be more utilized than David Stone in the middle, which was his high school teammate. But I mean, I don't have a problem with it, just because I think I don't think it's a shot at him by any means, because we know he's going to be great. Right. It's more of just, we've actually gone out and gotten some talent on the defensive line finally, especially in the interior, because
it starts there.
We have John Terry coming back, which is going to be huge. I think he's a 5th year now. And then again, Dominic Williams coming in that's going to be huge, because he was the Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
fantastic. What game do you guys remember the most growing up of an OU game that not necessarily you went to attended? Maybe it was one you attended, but also one that pops in your mind. Like when you think of it, what OU game do you think of?
Probably have to go Red Rover Rivalry. I think it was my freshman year. So in 2018, when I think it was Blake Bell was sort of the quarterback, maybe. That was his last year there, if I'm not mistaken. But I was FaceTiming Dad. It was a close game. Like, Oklahoma State drove down, scored a touchdown, extra point would have tied it, 2-point conversion would have won it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, start FaceTiming Dad, and so we're obviously ahead of TV time, but they dropped the pass, or maybe the quarterback missed it. We did.
2-point
They
conversion.
should have got it.
Yeah.
They should have got it,
Yeah.
but they didn't, and they missed it. And so the crowd, I mean, that's one of those games you're hugging and high-fiving and kissing people you don't even know. You're just like so excited. But
yeah, that was Oklahoma State, the Bedlam game. Correct, Bedlam game.
What did I say? Red River?
You said Red River, but that's okay. We were in North Carolina. Me and Gannon were sitting there. I think your mom was in there too. Like we were like watching you because it was, I mean, a good 30 seconds ahead because you were even further along because, I mean, I'm sure there's a regular delay.
Right.
We were like going nuts. So that was pretty cool. Kellen, what about you? Do you have any memories of anything?
One of the first ones that comes to mind is when we played Alabama in the bowl game, and Trevor Knight led us to a beautiful victory, and that was great. I mean, I always think of like Baker Mayfield and the Jayhawks, or Baker Mayfield and Ohio State. Like, I could think of 1,000 Baker Mayfield moments, but for some reason, beating Alabama, because like in theory, that's when they were in their prime, and we're like, there's no way. Nobody thought we would win that game, and it was.
What's funny is that single game put Trevor Knight as the Heisman favorite the next year, and then he lost the starting job to Baker.
Well, I mean, but that single game also like sealed the deal of him being an Oklahoma legend after that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. He's still like he covers OU football because of it. Like, yeah.
No, I agree 100%. And then you know what's crazy is like Baker Mayfield was supposed to. They were trying to get him that year. You know that he was on but there was whatever went on with the NCAA and all that.
The previous transfer portal rules, yeah,
right. Whatever the kind of rules those were, it didn't happen. So, for me, like I'm trying to look it up, like the year. Man, I think it was this one. In 1986, I'm pretty sure it was OU. I know it was OU Nebraska. It was on TV though. I obviously wasn't there, but where we were trailing the whole time, and then we come back, get the ball, and then they throw this pass that somehow Keith Jackson catches along the sidelines and just misses a couple tackles, and he goes down. They tackle us, and because they were talking about how we were just going to play for the tie because it was 17-17 at that point, and we were still going to go, to the Orange Bowl at the time, and but that's not how we roll. So we went through there, and then Lasher kicked a field goal for we won 20-17, and everybody was just shocked because Nebraska was winning that whole game, and we scored. Then they only had 3 and out, maybe punted it. And this is all really quick. You can look up all that kind of stuff on YouTube. But one closest, one I was personally at was 2000 when we beat Nebraska. They were up 14-0 early on in the first quarter, I believe is what it was. And then we scored 31 answer points. Me and Clay were there. And I'm telling you, he and I shared one seat because everybody was so packed in that place, where we sit. And I'm hanging off the end over there on seat number 1, but then there was some guy had a Nebraska flag that was just, every time they would do something good, he would, flop it out there. And so Clay looked to high five me at one point after we scored and couldn't find me, looked down there and saw me in that guy's face, pointing at him, yelling at him. So pretty fun. That's the memory I have of OU football. So it's pretty awesome. And hopefully we'll have some even better memories coming up for sure.
Let us know in the comments what your favorite memory is as well.
Let us know. And even if it's
probably,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, they probably got some stuff that we're not even thinking of that we're going to be like, holy cow, yeah.
There's so many games. Yeah, and even SEC folks, if you got an Alabama game that you remember, LSU game, Tennessee, I mean, there's a ton of you all that listen. Drop a note in there on the comments. All right, so I've got some questions for you guys. You ready for some good questions? Which one do you want first? You don't know the question, so just kidding.
Question number 3.
All right. Well, I only have 2, but anyway. Here's the first one, and I'm going to answer it first before you guys go because it's fun. Because we got to make some good little videos, and I sell. So there you go. Who's the most annoying celebrity out of these four? Okay. Out of these four people, who is the most annoying celebrity? And you can tell me somebody else if you think's more annoying, but between Kanye,
Oh,
Kim Kardashian, Jake Paul, or Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, 100%. I don't get it. That's fine. All these little girls and people love, oh, Taylor Swift. That's fine. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Her with the Chiefs and what's his name, Kelsey and all that kind of stuff. Don't understand it. People go nuts, cry, when they see her, and it does nothing for me. I don't understand it. I don't understand all the hype. It just doesn't compute with me. Taylor Swift, and honestly, the Kelsey, her and freaking Travis together. I could care less, and I'm done with it. I'm over it. It's over. No more Taylor Swift.
like a Paul got real quiet because he didn't want Ma and Callie to hear him, so he's like kind
Wow.
of
The
scared.
whispering.
Ready to beat up. A little scared. What about you guys? Out of those four, or do you have a better one?
Gary.
I'm gonna go Kanye. I hate the guy. I think he's I think he's overrated for sure. But then at the same time, I mean, they're all not great people, and who are we to judge? But like, just the things he's done in public, and I get the Taylor Swift thing, but in a sense, like, she hasn't really done anything necessarily to like
just being annoying. That's it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but like she hasn't done anything like wrong to other people in public or anything like that. And like Kanye's definitely done some questionable things, so I would have to go with him. His music is trashy and all that, but which Taylor's not. Her music now could be classified as the same. But
what do you think, dog?
Well, first off, Kanye is the greatest artist of all time, and
okay.
he's had a rough few years. But
Yeah.
I don't like Taylor Swift, but I think her fans make her more annoying. Than she is very annoying, but I think her fans expand that. So I'm gonna have to go with Kim Kardashian. Famous for no reason, rich for no reason, has no skills whatsoever. She's the one that ruined Kanye. If you look at anybody, her and her sisters and whatever her half sisters and mothers and dads and all of that whole family, anybody they touch, anybody they are in a relationship with, go downhill afterwards. I think there's something weird about that family. She's annoying. Her own kids hate her because they like going to Kanye's house better because at Kim Kardashian's house they just hang out with the nannies. Kanye's they hang out with Kanye and make music. I'd have to go out of that list, but don't get me wrong, I hate Taylor Swift as well though. Jake Paul, I'm kind of intrigued by his little fighting career. Just kind of watching.
I mean, honestly though, like he was annoying at one. Yeah, he was annoying at one point for a while, but like at this point, he's entertaining.
Is he the one that's going to fight Tyson at some point?
Yeah,
or his brother. I don't know.
Yeah, but like he
One's
should
bigger,
be Tyson at this age.
no,
But-
Logan's the big one who fought Floyd Mayweather
Okay.
and is in the WWE and all that, which is
Who do you think honestly would win, Jake Paul or Mike Tyson?
in their
now?
prime. Mike right now, Jake.
Right now, Jake should win. Mike's old.
Shot. I don't care.
Are you
dude.
serious?
No way. Tyson
Oh
knocked
my
that guy one time. It's over.
Jake Paul's
No.
Jake Paul's bigger. He's got titanium plating in his head.
I don't care.
He's fine.
Tyson's going to smoke that guy. When they fight.
Okay.
They had a
Well,
delay.
it's like 2 months away.
He already has issues.
Huh?
That's like
I'm not disrespecting Tyson. In his time,
No, yeah.
in his prime, it wouldn't even be
Oh,
close.
in his prime, yeah, 100%. But even now.
no.
This
That's
guy-
like you saying Michael Jordan would be like Giannis. Like Michael Jordan's the best basketball player of all time, but right now it's just not going to happen.
Fighting's
saying-
different. Punching somebody, like if he lands that punch,
But
if
here's
he
the
lands
difference.
that punch, it's done. It's done.
No,
But
that's
also,
not true. He
Jake
doesn't
Paul
have the same
lands
hit
punches.
power. But he's like that dude. He fought like last year against another 50 or 60-year-old, and they like drew. They went 5
hugged
rounds
him.
without barely hitting any punches because they were so tired after one round they couldn't do anything.
You're talking about Tyson?
Yeah, like that. He literally tied another like 50-year-old, 60-year-old dude.
Nah, look it up. I don't think you know what you're talking about. So
No, I know what Gary's talking about too, because I was all excited just to watch him fight again. Then I was like, wow, I'm glad I
They
didn't
did
pay
nothing. Yeah.
He's going to smoke this guy. One punch, boom, and it's over. It's going to be over. Trust me.
I think worst case scenario it's a draw just to make all the fans happy, like not make anybody mad. But
I think,
Jake
yeah,
Paul
I
should
think that
win. And everybody roots. Everybody says he's going to lose every fight, and he has won like all but one. And the only one he lost was due to was votes. It wasn't like
So we lost?
he got knocked out or anything.
Yeah.
Well, Tyson's going to knock this guy out. All right, final question. I don't think we've done this one before. If we have, my apologies, it's a little different, but you're going to rank.
Yeah, we've done it.
Okay. We're going to rank these sandwiches. Okay?
Blindly?
Blindly. You're not going to have any idea what's coming next, but you're going to rank them blindly. 1 through 5.
Out of what? Okay.
French dip.
Ooh.
2.
Ooh.
I had a French dip yesterday, actually.
Sloppy Joe.
4.
3.
4.
But I want to put it 1, but I'm putting 3.
Grilled cheese.
5.
4.
Too basic. Wait,
What
do I
about-
get like some meat in there, like a little ham or something?
No.
Do I get to make my own grilled cheese?
Yeah, 5.
Grilled cheese.
A little brioche bread.
A little cilantro, maybe? Yeah.
Little lobster roll.
1.
1.
You've had a lobster roll, Garrett?
I wouldn't think
I
you'd
went
be a
to-
lobster roll kind of guy.
I went to Florida once.
Okay. I didn't know that. Me and Kellen had one in, where was that, Kellen? Maryland. Annapolis, Maryland. Oh, it was fantastic. Best ever. All right. Last one, Philly cheesesteak.
3.
I guess that's 5, but
I don't know if I've had a Philly.
Without onions. No onions. No.
Wait,
no.
is that the one with the cucumber sauce?
no, that's a gyro.
That's a Euro.
Oh, okay.
This is like, remember, you didn't ever go to the Chicago Cheesesteak Factory there in Springfield, dude? Is it still there?
Never got an
You
invite.
didn't go. It's over by the grotto.
Yeah.
It's still a thing?
I have
It
no
was
idea.
when I lived there.
Let me think. For the three of us, you're the one that lives there, so you tell us.
I will say this: never, ever go on DoorDash and order a cheesesteak from Pardon My Cheesesteak. You're going to be real excited. The picture looks pretty good. It's going to come, and you're going to think, "This isn't my food. It's in an IHOP bag." The IHOP is running a secret menu from their own. Pardon My Cheesesteak is a section on their menu that they made a restaurant on DoorDash. I ordered it. Worst thing I ever had. Maybe because of that, it deserves to be ranked number 5 on my list because of IHOP ruined the cheesesteak. I haven't had one since, and that has been probably a year and a half.
You got to have a good cheesesteak, though. I mean, that's.
And I had no clue.
One issue with that,
I should have read the reviews.
One of the best ones, honestly, is that one in Springfield. It really is.
It's a really good cheesesteak.
Chicago cheesesteak. All right, you guys got anything else? Garrett,
Next
explain to everybody what's coming up next week.
week, the annual Foxx Den Sports NFL quarterback rankings. We'll go through 1 through 32 of kind of the projected starters, or if it's kind of iffy, we'll put a rookie in there. But 1 through 32, we'll give our thoughts. You know, there is a lot of differences in our quarterback rankings in the past. So especially if we can get Gannon on there, that dude's got some wild takes. But
it does. He might be on there, might not. But we're going to see if we might be able to get what's the other special guest?
Miss Callie Fox,
Cute little C. Get a cute little C on here for her quarterback rankings because she's probably better than all these other guys. To be honest, well, other than me, but yeah. You guys agree? No? Well, again, we appreciate everybody's time. We know you got a lot going on. Appreciate that. Please subscribe. Just a little button down here. Subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Let us know how we're doing. That helps us grow our podcast. Give us some comments like we talked about before. Listen at the end. It'll tell you where you can find us all on social media. But I want to remind everyone that iron sharpens iron.
Please stay safe.
be savage and not average.
And remember to join the skulk. And until next time, Kellen.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.